Welcome out to the Cosign Podcast, Culture and Music. Yes, I'm your host, Venom Vixen, a.k.a. OGV. And I'm still missing my other half. Sterling Stacks, get well out there. He got the hoogas. And I, no, bruh. No, you got to get better. And then we let him get up in here.
You got the Scarlet S.
The Scarlet S. So standing in for him, of course, is our EP, Smitty Gogetta. What up?
Hey, what's happening, man? It's your dog, Smitty Gogetta, a.k.a. DJ No Mix.
Wiggy.
Hey, peace and love, man. Happy New Year to everybody.
For sure. And we got a special guest in the building, Mossiah, a.k.a. his brand is V12. I don't want to say V12 Studios because they're like V12 International now. Like, y'all doing everything now. It's crazy.
Music group. You know what I mean? It's right there.
It's on the shirt. There you go. Music group.
You know what I mean? Word up.
Yeah, man, we growing and we glowing, man, and I thank God for it, and I appreciate y'all for having me.
Okay, for sure. So we're going to get into a lot of stuff about, we go back, way back, man. I had one of my most epic birthday parties ever at Yo Club downtown, V12 downtown. Right. I want to feel like it's my 26th birthday party. It was so epic. That's when I had my TV show. We filmed it. Right. We put it back on Fox 57. It was crazy. It was mad bottles of Moet. It was, we filled that thing into every spot it could be filled. That was really a dope event. It just came to my mind, man. That's one of my greatest birthday parties. But we're going to go ahead and get into what a lot of people are already talking about on social media. We know we get into trending topics here. And since I got two bosses here, one where Smitty has a management company and Mossiah has a actual music group. So we're going to talk about the differences between those two in a little bit. But right now, let's talk about what y'all are talking about. And it's about everybody being, not I'm going to say everybody, you got split emotions on social media on how Gucci Mane handled Big Scar contributing what he contributed to Big Scar's funeral. So what do y'all think from the music label and executive standpoint? How do you feel about it?
First off, I want to say, my condolences to the family. Very unfortunate situation. And, it was just messy when you're dealing with those types of emotions and you got money and business, and it just kind of get messy, and it's just an unfortunate situation. But I can see both sides, and from a label perspective, people got to understand if he asked for the chain back, then it possibly was an agreement that he had already established.
Right.
So it wasn't like he gave it and now I want it back. Obviously, he didn't give it to him. He probably just loaned it. It was part of his agreement. So we got to take those things in consideration. So
I definitely see it both ways because, and one part of me, the human part, is like, maybe it was too soon to ask for it. But then I was like, nah, these niggas over here, I'm sorry. I don't know your family, but the way they're displaying, you know what I'm saying? They better had it chop shop and put on some rims by next week. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he needed to have to be the adult in that. Smitty, what do you think about that?
I have not to read a record label contract yet that stipulates a record label is supposed to pay for a funeral. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be honest with everybody on that part. But like you said, the human side of it, you expect these bosses to step up in those situations and be the person to take care of the family and stuff like that. So I do understand that, but I'm gonna just say this: if the action was to send the 20 bands directly to the funeral parlor, there's a reason behind that.
I agree. And here's my thing. I think it's a generous thing. Here's my thing. You want to run up a $60,000 tab, and then you want me to pay for it.
Right. Because at first it was 30.
10. Oh, right. It was 30.
She's like, what's 10? It's 30. Right. Then all of a sudden it's 60.
You know what I mean? But,
yeah, that was a little.
And then they shooting videos and
it got crazy.
Yeah, so
and you see the girlfriend's either upset about how things are being handled. You know what I'm saying?
The father also.
But I thought the father came back and he's the one to acknowledge the payment to the parlor.
I mean, we know the payment was made. I mean, that was it. The sister even had to acknowledge. Okay, but now you trying to play like, well, that's $20,000. Okay, well, where's your $20,000?
He was working at the factory talking about what's.
But my problem with the whole situation and with the artist side of the game right now as a booking agent, before I even knew who Big Scar was, I already booked him for like $27,000 3 years ago.
Oh, so he should have been having a bag.
So if you because he came out right in the same area with Big 30 and all them artists, and they jumped right out to 15,000, 20,000 as soon as you heard about them, and that's why the trend of music is where it's at right now. So in my opinion, if you're year one getting $27,000 a show, look here.
I mean, I realize he was young, and it's a lot to maybe expect him to have insurance policies or even insurance policies that have matured. A lot of people that don't know, it does take a couple years for them to kick in. You could start paying on it and you die tomorrow, then that it don't mean anything. Most of them have about a 2-year, time to mature. So he could have one and it might not have matured. You know what I'm saying?
Or what happened, how he died, probably wasn't covered in the policy.
Okay. So I will always I don't know. To me, if you get caught smoking on the insurance policy, they damn near take your policy. And as a 40-something-year-old man, I know that. Right. You know what I'm saying? But I mean,
it's very sad. It's very unfortunate, to see a young man out. I would like to see their family be moving more in a positive vein about let's talk about these drugs. Because we're losing.
Right, we forgot about that part.
Yeah, we're losing. You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we nitpicking over flowers and obituaries? You just lost a young man because he got a bad hit. Like, come on, we got to talk about that. We just lost Gangsta Boo. Same time, same situation. You got all these entertainers that they're out here getting bad hits. Right. And come on, when we going to talk about that? Because I said something, I'll be fine. I can be the petty, crass one all the time. But like my friend asked me about it and I was like, why are they screaming about that? Why they want screaming about rehab? Okay? Because if you care so much and you feel like this young man needs a $60,000 funeral, why wouldn't y'all scream and get rehab when he had a problem?
That's big facts, you know what I mean? And that's the side that, the execs in the game have to kind of, I get why they're saying now that record deals are coming with insurance policies, because once you committed thousands and thousands, in some cases millions and millions of dollars into these artists' career, and they're not protecting themselves in a sense, you know what I mean?
Would you put insurance on your racehorse?
Hell yeah.
I'm just saying, at the end of the day, if I'm investing money, I have to get a return on my investment some way.
If you're an athlete, you put insurance on your arms, your legs, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? The average NFL quarterback probably got a couple of $1 million insurance policy on their rotator cuffs and all that type of deal. That's the level of playing in a big business.
And I want to add, because I know a lot of people might be listening and say, well, they do that to black people. Let me tell you, it's not just. When I was watching the Johnny Depp trials, what stuck out to me was in his addiction, he was filming a movie and he was so far in addiction. Instead of them saying like they care enough about him to say, you know what, Johnny, go to rehab, get yourself together. You know what they did? They brought in a team of doctors and nurses and found a way to medicate him to stimulate the high so he could continue to work. They don't care about you. That's why I made the example of a racehorse. You are to make them money. Right. They didn't even give a damn about Johnny Depp to say, hey, we can pause, we can come back, let this man get good. No, they had him on there nodding on the set, shooting him up with shit just so they could finish the movie. You know what I'm saying? That's what stuck out to me the whole trial. I was like, damn, they don't care about none of us. So it ain't a black-white thing. So let's talk about some business. So this is something that bothers me so much, and especially in our state. The difference between what is a label music group and what is a management company and what are their responsibilities, because I see all those lines get blurred around here. So who wants to start?
I mean, I take the first start at it, because I'm just going to say this as a manager and as a booking agent. I am not responsible to fund your career. You know what I mean? And that's the first fundamental difference of a record label and a person that's coming on board and saying, I'll be your manager, your booking agent, your promoter. Now I can take on the investment to be an investor in your career, but You can't look at that person and say, you're supposed to pay for studio time. You're supposed to get my videos done. You're supposed to do the photo shoot. You're supposed to do the EPK. You're supposed to make sure all my stuff is uploaded and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and the list continues on.
Yeah. Well, from a label perspective, the purpose of a record label is to sell records.
Facts. Say that again. For all these fake ass record labels out there. Okay. You're supposed to do what?
Sell records.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was taught. That's what I learned, and that's my goal, my aim.
Right. And it's different now, since we're not selling physical records, right? So it's a little different.
So now you're really selling a character, a lifestyle,
a brand.
Yeah, a brand now, a story.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And it's gotten to the point that, I tell artists all the time, people got to buy into who you are as a person. Forget the music. It's a million rappers. You know what I mean? They gotta buy into you. Once you get people able to buy into you, then you good. And that's why all them reels and TikToks and thrillers and all that stuff is important.
So important.
You know what I mean? Because people want to see your movement on a shit, in some cases, an hourly basis. You know what I mean? They watch artists like niggas going to get the dollar paper back in the day. And who in that dollar paper today?
Oh, not shit. The dollar paper. Boy, I'm going to tell you something. That dollar paper kept me straight for a while. Like, you ain't want to fuck up. You ain't want to end up in that dollar paper. You ain't want to be pulled over on the side of the road and now you in there. And then you're going to be in the dollar paper. So you got to take your mugshot like, make sure you smiling because it's going to be in the dollar paper. Right. So you had a real huge success last year with one of your artists. Yes. You got a lot of international buzz.
Correct. Yeah, man. I guess after we put out a certain sound, or we was trying to create a certain sound, and we rolled with that for a while, and after a while, the artist and myself, we was kind of like, we was asked, what makes us different. And at the time, I couldn't really say because we were looking too much like everybody else. So, he was searching for something different. And I had a few friends of mine who travel abroad. They'd come back to me and they were like, yo, Mo, you need to look into the Afro beats. He's like, yo, that's the new wave, man. That's what's being played all around the world now. They're not playing reggae or reggaeton or Caribbean music anymore. So, that's the new thing. So I'm like, after hearing it a few times, I said, let's try it. And, I'm fortunate to have an artist who's, he's Panamanian and African. So, and he was, he grew up part of his life, he grew up in Panama. So he got, international roots. So he was able to even consider doing something like that. So when I brought that to him, and at first I was like, well, you Panamanian, how this is going to work? I don't want to look like we wave riding, So I did know a artist that was African, and I thought, he was dope. I did some work with him, for a few years. So I called him up and asked him to, do a collaboration with Step, and they went in there and they came up with this song, and it just sounded good from the start. And I started letting people listen to it, and everybody gave me great reviews, great response. So we put it out on TikTok first. We got an influencer to make a dance. We're like, we want to do a TikTok dance.
Okay, wait, slow down. You going too fast with the game here. Slow down. All right, slow down.
You better call the EP. Yeah. That's going to be $9.99.
Okay, wait, slow down, because I have counseled. See, I consult now. That's all I'm willing to do now. I'm done. Right. Because I done put too much heart and soul in too many people, and I just can't do it. And that's something that you just said is one of the first things I say to all of them when we sit down and talk of a plan, and not nay one of them do it. You have to get an influencer to get on board. Right. Now, how you do it, by hook or crook, I don't care. Slide in their inboxes. Ask them to do a song. I don't know. We talked about it before. Get a handful of them. Ask them what they charge. $50, $60. Someone might want $100 to get on there, play your song, shake their ass, make a little dance or whatever. I have told countless number of artists that, and they have not yet to do it.
I mean, a lot of it just comes, and that goes back into The problem with it is that, unfortunately, hip hop is a facade. Most rappers rap a life that they've never put two shoes on and done. You know what I mean? So when you really have to dig into moving past going in a studio and recording a song, and you got to look at the blogging and the marketing and the graphics and all that type of stuff, shit, they done missed the boat. You know what I mean? I tell them all the time, to have $50 to go and record a song, that's not even, you ain't even at the starting line. That's just showing up to practice.
How do you balance with your artists with the extra work? Because that's what I find, exactly what he's saying. All they want to do is get on stage and be in the studio. Do y'all have people appointed to handle all those other things, or are the artists hands on to make sure they're posting their stuff and they're in the social media?
Yeah, I mean, it's really up to that individual. All artists are different. They don't have the same work ethic.
Right.
They don't, approach it the same way. And all you could do is just give them the tools, the information, and you just hope that they take it in, and for the ones that do, you see the results.
Right.
And for the ones that don't, you also see. So.
Yeah, I'm them days of that for me is over.
Tell you, buddy.
I said no. I had the pleasure. I still work with like one of the best work ethics ever, and that's Street Poet, who's now kind of morphed into Leroy Hall. Right. She's kind of going more away from that the stage name, because she's into motivational speaking, but she found her niche. And the thing was, her work ethic as an artist was always there. And when she moved into motivational speaking, she used that same tactic. Right. Yeah. And she finally found the thing that won. You know what I mean? And I tell artists that a lot too. Be willing to pivot if need be. You have to realize maybe that's not what you need to do. You know what I mean? After years of doing it,
Correct. Like even myself, you know me for years. You both did, and I was not always Mossiah.
Right.
I had to reinvent myself.
Yeah.
Moses, it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Moses wasn't gonna make it to the promised land.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't gonna hold that title no longer. So I changed my game. I changed my name, and now my life has changed. You know what I'm saying? It's different. So I had to reinvent myself, and artists got to do that sometimes. Yeah. If that character not working, then reinvent yourself. We seen it with King George. He was Young Holiday, a rapper for years, and it just wasn't working. And what I mean? So he tried something different, and it worked. So it was the same thing with us. We was doing all this music, doing shows all over, looking like we winning. Yeah, but it wasn't amounting to anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. I didn't see the results of it, so I wasn't gonna keep doing that. Everybody, keep going. Going where? Off a cliff?
That's my
crazy.
That's my.
And that's why I pivoted.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what? Everybody is doing the gang and the violence, and everything is negative. So why don't I be positive and I shine and I be in my own lane? I don't have to worry about all that.
Yeah. And I think the world is begging for some of that right now. Like, I think we ready to eat that up. I was showing him the little boy the other day that I don't want to just assume that he's African, but he's from another country. People want, that's what people want.
Feel good.
They do. They do. I saw it on everything.
It's too much darkness.
Yeah. But I mean, you got to think. I mean, the lightness is kind of coming in, and like you brought up King George and the whole movement with Southern Soul.
Beautiful movement.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just to see that in the last 5-6 years, you know what I mean? That's definitely taking over, like you say, the Afrobeat.
I love that they gave it a name. I used to call that brown liquor music. Joint music. You know that they play at the end of the night when they ready for y'all to get the hell on out. You know what I'm saying? And now look, it's like,
you know, like
and to see the artists at that age still be able to make money.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So honestly, if I was an older rapper that never made it, like I would consider
pivot.
Don't fall off the cliff. I'm not.
There we go.
I seen that too many times.
Yeah. But don't you feel like people need to stop lying to people though? Like, come on, stop It was something you had said when you said when your guys went in the studio and made the song, and then you started letting people listen to it, and everybody was like, "Oh yeah, you got good feedback, good feedback." But how many times that's all you always get? You know what I'm saying? Like, how many times everybody, like, I tell artists this: if you go in the studio one time, record a song, bring it to your friends and your family member, and you let them hear the song, and all they got to say is, "That shit fire." I say they don't take your career seriously.
Off top.
And they look at me like, why do you say
That
that?
boy don't love you.
There's no way that you rip it like that one time. Now, there are some phenomenons out there to get a hit. Right. You know what I'm saying? But they should be like, okay, I see where you're going with this. Now, do you think the producer could go in a little bit more? Or, like, if they're not giving you any kind of feedback other than that fire right there, okay, then why haven't it gone anywhere?
They some people yes men, they're not there to. They trying to be supportive, so that's, I guess, they being supportive, like, they laughing behind their back, but that's another story.
It's sometimes you gotta be like, bruh, it's over.
A lot of them boy don't want to hang it up now. A lot of them boy don't want to hang it up, boy. I swear.
I mean, it's simple, man. Like, people got to understand, if you're doing something for commercial gain, then you got to make it commercially commercially acceptable. So the rules are different. Yeah. You got to approach it differently. And I think people go in, I mean, we fortunate enough to be able to run a studio, and I see hundreds of artists. And a lot of time they just going in there having fun.
Yeah.
They making music they like.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but that don't mean you don't have a target market for that. You don't have a specific goal for this song. You just making music because it sound good.
Yeah.
And then just don't come shove it down my throat then. If you making music for fun, listen, stay out of my inbox, because I don't have time for fun, because where we're at and the type of things we want to do. Like, I sit down with people all the time, and they got people putting money behind them. And it's like, okay, what are you going to do? You just going to just let them keep spending money on studio time? Are you going to do the other work? Because I keep telling them talent is like 10%.
It's no blueprint. It's no prerequisite for entry.
I mean, that's just
so
it,
anybody
what
can
it
do
is.
it.
Yeah.
There's definitely not a real, and that's another thing. There isn't a real blueprint. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can say, look how this person did it. Look how that person do it. And then you had somebody come around like Glorilla
and do it totally different.
And did and put the most ratchet video, was not like well shot. We yell, artists, you need to have professionalism, and you need this and you need that. And then this girl comes with this ratchet ass anthem, ratchet ass video, no jewelry, no high end, no makeup, no this, nothing professional, ripped cut off jeans, on the car doing this, and boom.
But there is, I mean, honestly, we keep on saying there is no blueprint to making it. You know what I mean? I talked to a big record exec yesterday, and that was the first thing he was saying. It's like, man, Smitty, there's not a blueprint to it. You know what I mean? But what we're trying to identify here is what the South Carolina sound is. You know what I mean? And once that's identified, then the world takes in that state.
Now,
you know what I mean?
This is a good topic right here, because I don't feel there is a South Carolina sound. Like, for instance, we three South Carolinians, right? Mm-hmm. South Carolina, right? We don't sound alike.
At all.
There's no two artists that got a similar sound. We don't have it's no word that we say that, I know you automatically from South Carolina.
Right.
Because if you're from New Orleans, you can say a word and I know you from New Orleans.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? You from New York, you can say something and I know you from New York.
No, that's definitely facts.
South Carolina is
definitely.
I just learned a word, y'all. If you're from Boston, they call you fuckies. I just learned that watching this show. I was like, why do they keep calling each other fuckies? And I found out that's the Boston word. But here's the thing. You know who has the and I've been saying this, the one part of South Carolina absolutely has that is Charleston.
Yeah.
And they have slang.
That's a different.
But they have slang and stuff that they say that even I've lived in Charleston, I don't know that. What's the thing you all call sneakers?
Willie D.
Yeah, I didn't know that
Air
shit.
Force One.
Yeah, I'm like, they literally have their own everything.
Charleston is a sovereign nation.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
even part of South Carolina.
You know what I mean? They're not part of the
be
world.
real,
You
like,
know what I mean?
word.
You know what I mean? Like there's a sign in Charleston that says "Welcome to the Edge of America." You know what I'm saying? Like word.
Well,
But-
that's why I think they could be the one to do it, though.
But no, but what it is.
But that they don't represent South Carolina.
Carolina.
It would still be just Charleston,
And I get what Mo says with that, and I think it's more of a cultural thing. You know what I mean? Like, all right, when you go to Florida and you think about how the music started, the first thing you think about is Jam Pony. You know what I mean? So
that's what you think
know
of.
what I mean? No, he developed a no.
I mean, that's not the first thing I think of. I just said,
But
I'm just
I'm
laughing. That's what
saying-
you think of. I'm sorry.
What do you think, Luke?
You know,
No,
like
but I'm saying
even
that's the-
Poison Clan or,
No,
you know
but
what
that's
I'm
the
saying?
blueprint
I
of
get it, I get it.
how the music started. It went through Jam Pony, then your Poison Clans, then your Two Live Crews, and then Uncle Luke just took that beach concept and blew it up across the world. And I think we in South Carolina got to find our beach concept. You see what I'm saying? It's not that, we got all these individual parts of South Carolina, the Low Country, the Midlands, and all that, PD and all that type of stuff. But it's what we got to find to bring us together. You know what I mean?
But what is ours? We're such a melting pot.
But that's why
we were
but it-
heavily influenced by the North for a long time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Anybody that grew up in the 90s here was heavily influenced by the North. And then Southern, then you had the, like you said, the Luke, and we started getting to the booty music. That started coming. It's like, okay, the South making music. Then Atlanta got a hold of it, and then we was like, oh shit. And then, like, I literally know people that used to back in the day walk around talking about they 7%ers and da-da-da-da. And now they the countryest niggas I ever met in life. It wasn't cool to be country until Atlanta and Georgia and Florida got on, and New Orleans and all of that got on.
Unless you was from Charleston.
I don't think y'all had a choice. I used to.
Nah, Charleston early on, y'all was trying to sound like New Orleans.
You know,
They had
but
a real culture.
the patois and the Geechee just sounded so much alike that you know what I mean.
Y'all was really on those.
I'm just telling you what I heard because that's what people like. When I first went to Baltimore, people would first say, "Hey man, where you from? You from New Orleans?" I'm like, "No, I'm from Charleston." You know what I'm saying?
But patois you talking about is a whole different culture. And when you say that, like I feel like people, when I say it, I don't give a fuck. I think they ignorant as hell when they hear a Geechee ass accent and think they're Jamaican. That's what I think I hear more. I mean, you might have heard people say New Orleans, but I always hear people thinking that people from Charleston sound Jamaican, and I'm like, you ignorant motherfucker, don't sound Jamaican. Have you met a real Jamaican before?
It's just foreign.
It's just foreign.
That's all.
Yeah.
You're not familiar with it.
You're not
but
familiar, but we gotta identify that in South Carolina. Whatever.
I don't. But you know what? I'm
That
going to
is.
disagree with you.
All right.
I don't think in 2023 this whole sound thing is something that's so necessary. I think sounds had a time period where you needed sounds. Because when you think about sounds, the first time you think of like Motown sound and this sound and this sound. Now you got kids, little white boys sitting in the room can duplicate any sound. So I don't think that to take over the world at this point, you have to have, like South Carolina has to have a sound. I think that time is
I
past.
think it's more substance.
Yeah.
I can agree with substance.
What are we going to talk about? What's going to be different? You know, this is what I always say. Like, okay, the South been leading this hip hop game for 20 years.
For a minute now.
So we done heard every drug dealer scenario from Texas to Miami. Why we want to hear that from South Carolina? What you going to say that we ain't already heard?
But I think
From Texas to Miami.
and I'll tell you one thing, you know what I mean, and I get, you know, I where my artist is at personally, you know what I mean, but one thing I'm still challenging South Carolina artists to do is that I don't think a major artist out of South Carolina, I don't care what nobody say. I know they got songs about South Carolina teams and stuff like that. I've not heard a great representation of the Lady Gamecocks. You know what I mean?
Somebody does need to step up and do that.
Who's been national champions for a couple of times over. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say shout out to Jim Starr. He had a ill Gamecock anthem they used to play at the stadium that he did.
You know, I mean, no discredit to it. You know what I'm saying?
But somebody do need to step up for the Lady Gamecocks because they're doing their thing. But they women though, you know how we do. You know how they do us.
Nah, but it should be a female.
You know,
Females running game right now.
I
Okay,
did not
y'all
hear
heard that female artist.
like even in Charleston, I challenged artists back then, and you know, what I mean, I know, you know, people, you know, they always hit me with the opportunity shit or whatever. You know, I never really heard a strong memorial tribute song to the Manual 9. Like it's been a lot. It's been a lot of stuff that's happened in South Carolina that if somebody find a way creatively to tap into it, you know what I mean? You're gonna have a person like me that sits behind a chair that's from South Carolina that's living in New York and gonna go through a nostalgic period and remember shit like that.
But is that enough to carry it to the next level?
It's enough to open. It might be enough to open the door.
Okay, so look, think about it like this. And I'm going to say something, because I say it all the time. I'm going to stand on my shit when I say it, okay? Some of the artists have gotten the biggest success out of South Carolina, however people measure it, when you talk about people like a Nick Grant or a Big Scooter or a Rennie Rucci. Okay, once again, like you said, all South Carolinians, very different styles. None are similar, right? Mm-hmm. If I would have pinpoint a sound, like if we would have said a sound for South Carolina, I still stand on Little Rule. I just don't know why we could never do what needed to been done to get him all the way there. You know what I'm saying? But I still stand on him from the star power, from the presence that he demanded when he walked in the room, his presence on the stage, his ability to do that and make good songs. I still the sound is right there for me. You got speaker knockers too.
I mean, I have to disagree with the Lil Rude thing because I don't think that sound is really significant to South Carolina. He had a good song, but outside of that, what's the sound? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I say,
and it's you got as an artist, if he's that, he will still be that. If that's what he is.
I mean, but that goes back to your original question in this segment topic is the record label, management side of the game. People can say whatever, I'm not stepping on no toes, but if they're not going to invest the type of money that these artists want in an artist, record labels invest that money into the team and the unit that's around them that's going to handle the business. If an artist feel like a Def Jam or Atlantic or one of these big time record labels about to come and drop $10 million in your lap, it's never going to happen.
Oh, especially not now. Now you go back when that deal. I'm not trying
never happened.
I'm not trying to rehash that deal in that situation. But I just always felt in the music, and even music I still hear today. Every time I hear a song by him, I be like, dude, bruh, it's still fire as fuck. Now I don't know, if that's something that could ever get revived. I don't know. It is what it is. But I'm not trying to harp on that too much. Okay.
Oh yeah. I'm just saying.
You know what I'm saying? Just saying.
Just saying. You know what I mean? Shout out to Lil Ru. You know what I mean?
He's a definite legend. Now, and
make sure you keep them girls doing that damn challenge. That's what you do.
Yeah, only if you making money.
What y'all thought about the Lotto remake?
I don't know what I thought about it because I don't think I really listened to it. Like I'm not listening to Lotto. I'm be honest with you. I'm not doing it. I'm familiar with the scenario.
Right, because you believe that she's like her whole mission was to take out Randy Rucci.
I just don't think that it got the national traffic. And that's the whole thing. You gotta I'm keeping saying it. You gotta these artists gotta capitalize on any open door that they can see a lane in this game. You know what I'm saying? Like Lotto was able to keep it moving. When you throw that dagger, you got to throw that shit in. And it's like being the backup quarterback and the quarterback go down on the field and now it's your turn to play. You know what I mean? You got to go in here and throw a fucking touchdown. You go out there and throw an interception, shit, you shot. They going to the third string. And she didn't, you know what I mean? She got to throw that dagger and make it stick. So I don't think it's a that. I think the Lotto Little Roo situation, it just didn't. It hasn't stuck in enough people's head. You know what I'm saying? It just hasn't, it didn't fire off. Like the Mariah Carey shit that she did with the
Big Energy.
With the Big Energy was a definitely better remix of an old school track. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, now you cannot compare Mariah Carey track.
But I mean,
what we not gonna do? What we not gonna do is compare Mariah Carey. You're not gonna get the same energy. You're not. No. Because
that's why Lotto shouldn't have done it.
But you have to also understand. No. Because the whole the machine is not going to put the same energy into a record with Lotto with the Mariah Carey situation than a Lotto with Lil Ru. So it had to be, and the thing is, I don't even know how much Lil Ru even had anything to do with it. Let's just put that on the table, okay? Like we don't. That's why I didn't think he had anything to do with it. Right. So it's for him the only thing I don't know what he could have done. But I want to say something, so I had to be clear because he asked me, do I not listen to Lotto because of the Rennie situation? I really don't listen to Rennie either. However, I don't listen to a lot of female rappers. I'm still the type of person that be like, hey, Google, play me 90s hip hop and R&B. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be honest with you. It's not a lot outside of these independent artists and dealing in that realm. There's not a lot of artists out now that I listen to, period. You know what I'm saying? And especially, I'm a little disappointed with the females. You know what I'm saying? Because I need something else. I'm tired about how big your ass is and how wet your shit is. Okay, we know it. We know you gushy, sis. We know. Wow. Tell me something else. That's all I want. Something, so I really don't.
Tank said something, man, in the interview that was real interesting. He was like, they're not afraid of black violence. They're afraid of black love.
Okay, say that.
So
that's true.
That's why they pushing the ratchet. And,
they do. Push the hell out of it.
Yeah. So you got to understand what's going on, and the fans got to take control back.
Right.
We got to be more selective with what we receiving. We just spent so much time just accepting whatever they threw at us. At one point, man, with hip hop, it was like if you whack or you biting or you any of this, like that was a bad thing.
Mm-mm. It's so programmed right now. If you look at it now, there's name companies that when a big artist come out, they get world premieres. I think he's looking for the song. They get world premieres, and the day the song drops, the song is played at the top of the hour, every single hour, all day on every single station under that brand. Right. Why they do that? Because then now they're number one on Billboard. So like for independent artists, that's how far behind you're already having to work. You know what I'm saying? Because they got a machine that's setting it up. Not just that, when we go back to when he's talking about the influencer thing, how is it that every major TikTok influencer, whatever, already had a dance ready for we gonna fuck up the night? Right. That's part of the strategy.
That's the rollout now.
Yeah.
Right.
They're killing it so hard that if they go into it, they not even worried about working records. I'm gonna get every influence out here. Hey, I'm Beyonce's team. I need you to put a dance to this song, and everybody gonna drop this on this day at 12 o'clock. Boom, the song is out there.
But that's the new working of the record.
Yep.
That's the new working of the record. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you maybe just kind of connect him to the Bluetooth if you want.
I'm already on it right now. But that's definitely the new working.
Just go to YouTube and play that from YouTube.
So we gonna get this record we've been talking about.
I still need to get it on the email.
Oh, he wasting time. Smitty wasting time. Wasting time.
Handling business at the same time.
I know. Well, you gotta talk about something. I got something while you getting the music together. I forgot. This is something. Okay, we've been talking real serious. So I had something messy. All right, before we get to the song, this is my WTF of the week.
Oh, okay. Backwards.
Yeah, this is my WTF of the week. 50 Cent apologized to Megan Thee Stallion.
I did see the little headline.
50 Cent finally apologized to somebody. 50 Cent could get ratchet.
What'd he say?
Okay. So this is what he said. I'm going to apologize to Megan Thee Stallion. I said some things, and it was because on social media I posted things that when she was with Gayle King, she said, were you intimate with Tory Lanez? And she said, what? And it was like, no. And I was like, she lying. At that point, I knew she was lying. It would be no reason for them to be around each other other than that. From that, I felt like she's lying. And then he basically went on to say that now he believes her in the situation. That is like probably the messiest situation last year. It's so many freaking layers to it. It's just, I just.
Yeah, that's a whole nother show. Tory, all how that went, that's crazy.
Well, what do you think about it? Do you think Tory shot her? Do you think he shot at her?
I don't think so. But, I think they say drugs and everything was involved.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Something happened, but I don't think he was. I don't think he shot her. You know, I mean, maybe he shot the gun or something. And
How do you think she got bullet fragments in her foot?
I thought they said that was glass.
No, that's what she told the police.
Oh.
So when you tell the police a lie, they come down, you get hurt, you go to the hospital. She's made the report saying she did a lot of lying to protect him at the beginning.
Right. So how she get off scot-free though with all that tampering evidence and lying and making a false report?
She definitely, her report though was all about protecting him, the original report. So it's just like if I go to the hospital and I say I fell down and I broke my rib because I'm trying to protect my significant other. And then they're looking at the injury. They're like, bitch, no, there ain't no way you tripped over a toy and fractured your ribs. So when they pulled the fragments out her foot, they're like, well, miss, this isn't glass. These is bullet fragments. Who shot you? And that's when she had to start saying stuff. But let me tell you what was crazy to me was the apology when he called from jail. I'm sorry. That nigga shot that gun. I'm sorry. Some people are trying to say, oh, he was apologizing for fucking two best friends. Okay, well, why wouldn't you say that? That's nothing you have to keep off of a prison line. He said, and I quote, and I'm going to put my baby out there because I love him to death. But he said a line that I heard men say before, not just my baby and other men. Man, shit just shouldn't have went down like that last night. I was so fucking drunk, man. It shouldn't. I know she's never going to speak to me again. It shouldn't have went down like that. That's not a man apologizing for fucking two best friends. He could have said, I'm sorry, I put you in a situation. I'm sorry, I was sleeping with you too. He said the exact words that I'd heard from men after a drunken night that they done showed their ass. Shit shouldn't have went down like that last night. That's all I'm going to say on that, because you got the song ready?
Hit him with the Harlem
Go
Nights.
ahead. Go ahead and intro the song, Mo. We gonna take it out on the song.
Yeah, this is We Outside from V12 Steph and Cherry Brown. It's our rendition of Afro beats. Check it out.
Okay.
Me and my girl, we outside.
This is my type of
Me and my girl, we outside.
out.
Me and my girl, we outside. 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 This is my Valentine. Nataka kuwa nawe milele daimai. Yeah. Cinderella, baby. Yo sí quiero quedar contigo. She wanna dance with me. She wanna take my whole life from me. Me and my girl, we outside. Bailando mi corazón, mi amor. Me and my girl, we outside. Me and my girl, we outside. Me and my girl, we outside. Don't be shy, bring her heart, she fly. Mira pa' arriba and we see the sky. Nunca pa' abajo porque no hay nada, nada. Me and my girl, we outside. 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 Don't be shy, bring her heart, she fly. No hay nada, nada.
See, that's my flavor right there. And I've always been a reggaeton, Afro beats. Now, that's more my speed right there.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that's
Smooth.
clean.
That's smooth.
That's clean. And I know it's not my first time hearing it, but it makes
Oh
me
yeah, that's
feel,
not my first time.
Yeah, it made me feel like, damn, boy, that's that song again. You know what I mean? Like that, like just like that Tim's joint, boy. I be dancing that shit. I'm about to do me a little 5 in the morning.
Oh yeah, that joint was smooth. Yeah, that was
so
smooth.
you know what I mean? Like good shit, man. Keep pushing.
Yeah,
You
tell
know.
them where they can find you.
The music or
Whatever you want to share.
I mean, everything is V12 Studios. The music is everywhere on all platforms. We outside. That's what we on. It's our version, our genre that we create, and it's called hip hop.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it's like a fusion of hip hop and Afro beats, world type music, man. So we just doing something, positive music. That's what we on right now.
All right. Well, we appreciate you pulling up.
No.
I see you, V12. Keep pounding. Keep doing your thing. As the words of Big Mo, you better learn how to
pivot.
Don't fall off the cliff, y'all.
Don't fall off the cliff.
Yes,
we out, man. It's the Coastside Podcast, bitches.
We outside.